Hey everyone, a couple things is looking at forexfactor.com, looking at some of the news that's coming out. Today's Tuesday, of course, and it looks like that there's not too much going on for today, but maybe tomorrow we may have some good economics. Even though it says it's orange, meaning medium impact, this could actually have an effect here. So let's look at the charts here. Looking at the euro dollar here. From yesterday, we did talk about several things. Looking at the day charts, number one, we talked about this descending channel here that it bounced off of. Now it's kind of consolidating and not really picking a direction. But we also did talk about the market actually consolidating, not really picking direction. And you can see right here at this level here at 1.3843. You can see that the market is just kind of going sideways, and this is definitely resistance, and it's just hanging out. So looking for reasons to actually go short, because it's kind of creating that head and shoulder pattern that we talked about, and really looking for the break of the neckline. If you're not in this already, that's fine. But what I'm going to be looking for on a different time frame is the break of this low right here at 1.3657 area. So if it breaks downwards, then I'm looking to continue to add positions and continue to look for selling opportunities. And then looking at the 1 hour standpoint, I actually have Majestic on here. Looking at this smaller trend line here, there's different ways to pursue this situation. You could use it as the bounce of this line here, because we did have several respect levels here. Bounced off here. Also, the top here, we did see it was resistance or support. It broke, came back and retested, engulfed, and acted as resistance. So there was actually a bounce trade as well, so you could have took some profits that way. But you can see we kicked off of it again. And so if you're not in this already, that's fine. What I'm looking for now, in order to really add positions for me, is looking for the break of this low right here at 1.3657 area. But if you're wanting to get in before that, you can look for the break of this line and simply just put sell start, or also establish your stop loss either above the swing high. And like I said, it may go sideways for a little bit, kind of low volume at this time. And this is kind of why I'm looking at the euro dollar. Like I said, the overall perspective I had with this pair is kind of having this head and shoulder pattern, and if we do break and commit, then I'm looking to add. Obviously, if the market does switch directions, then I'll look to get out. But I'm looking for to break this level in order to trade up to this level right here at 1.4203 area. And so I'm waiting for this market to really pick a direction at this moment. So if you're not in, like I said, you can be patient and wait for the break, either this low or this high here, in order for a position to be involved with this market at all. Looking at the 1 hour Swiss franc, couple things I really like about this pair is the day chart is showing that we're creating lower highs. We've created a lot of momentum, and we've actually talked about this market to also mimic the euro dollar here. So a couple things we can see is it came up and got rejected at that price, and it's kind of doing that same thing. And there's some news coming out for tomorrow that might drive this market upwards. Okay, so I'm going to be interested to have my stop loss behind this trend line. This is more of a swing trading perspective. Some take profits at this resistance level here at 0.9268, and then an overall target at 0.9727 area. Looking at a 4 hour standpoint, a couple things I like is we have a lot of upward pressure, and a couple things about this is we've had resistance, support, and this is more like a retest, basically coming down, touching this area, and engulfing. So if we have a 4 hour engulfer and actually looking like this pattern right here in this area, then I'm looking to actually add another position, or you could wait until we break this previous high that we've actually established. And as you can see, it was resistance over here. Here it is again. So if it breaks this high here on the 4 hour perspective, I'm looking to add positions. If it's working against me, I don't want to add. If it works for me, then I'm looking to add. You could also use a stacker in this perspective. This break here at 0.9042 area is something I'm going to be interested in and continue to buy this pair upwards. As I talked about before, I did talk about taking some profits when it did hit this resistance. As you can see, we can pull back in history, and that line was already established. Also, you can see that on the 1 hour standpoint, we had resistance acting kind of a. This was actually almost like a retest, but this was actually a classified retest here. We had a punch down and swing back up, so it looks like a wick on the 4 hour standpoint. And here we get engulfed, we pushed upwards. Now we're just kind of going sideways. So really, I'm looking for reasons to, again, the overall trend that I'm looking at is the day chart. We could also say that if it does establish something on the 1 hour standpoint, we may be able to establish a 1 hour trend line and possibly use Magic Stick for the actual entry point instead of getting involved here. So that's something I'm looking at on the Swiss franc. The pound dollar, we've actually talked about getting out of it and just taking a smaller loss on that pair. But you can look at this pair. We talked about several things. We had lower highs, okay, and lower lows. We also looked at it in a longer perspective, or the actual squeezing the charts here, that it's actually formed kind of an ascending triangle. Excuse me. Here's your resistance, and we have our swing lows, and this one actually cuts through the candlesticks here like this. So this market may pursue the upper swing, touching this high here. So if you look at it in a more closer view here, what we've actually established is you could probably take a feeler position or just test the waters out. We actually engulfed, and it does have a lot of momentum, so there was that temporary sell that we talked about, but what we actually ran into is this right around this area here, this support resistance level right here at 1.5872 area. We did talk about that as well. So if it breaks down and surpasses this neckline here in this area on the day chart, then I'm looking to trade it back down towards this trend line that we have on the day chart right here. If it does break this high here on the day chart, then I'm looking to trade it back up towards this high, or even up to the previous high right here at 1.6535 area. So right now, like I said, this market's actually at an indecisive stage. It may be somewhat similar of what it's doing over here. So really want to see it commit. Maybe it'll probably pull back, engulf, and then continue the upper swing. It may not be a perfect break. It may be something like this where it breaks out, pulls back, and pushes upwards. 4 hour standpoint, again, we're kind of lingering up there, so it's not very exciting in how it's actually pursuing the upward swing here. But I'm going to be interested to see what actually happens up this price. You know, if it's going to engulf off of it at 1.6135 area, so we could establish a smaller trend line here on the 1 hour standpoint. If it breaks, then we may actually take a small sell position, but we'll see. You know, like I said, this support level is definitely showed a lot of respect, so if it does come down quickly, I'm looking for a bounce trade at 1.5900. So how it came down very quickly, bounced off just like how it did over here and also right here. So something similar, kind of channel trading where we have a range here from the top to the bottom. So I'm going to look for those kind of trading opportunities, as well as the 1 hour standpoint. Like I said before, the 1 hour, what we could do is have a trend line established here, and specifically have Magic Stick on the 1 hour standpoint, and use the trading tool for this trading opportunity. So it's swinging upwards and then it breaking, then we may see a small sell position or selling opportunity. We did have a bounce trade right here. We had a low and a higher low, and we did have that bounce that was established, and now we're just kind of trending upwards a little bit, just hanging out, not really committed in any direction really. As you can see, it's just kind of going sideways. So waiting for the market to really pick up, maybe later on, maybe during the Asian session, or even tomorrow at the London session. So make sure you are in front of your charts during that time. The USD yen, we talked about this pair not doing really too much. Day chart, we've actually talked about it being on a really strong trend downwards, but also being oversold. And you can see that this market is just creating lower lows, and now we're kind of in this triangle formation, kind of like this, where it's kind of wedging in there. So this market's going to be really tough to trade in reality, and you can look at this market condition, more like you can see there's support, resistance, resistance. Now it's just kind of hanging out and consolidating. So the USD yen is actually not something I'm going to be very, very interested in, but we're going to be looking for reasons. Again, it's on a strong downtrend. You're more likely to have better trade opportunities trading downwards, which we do have a strong downward pressure candlestick. But I would like to see it actually kick off this trend line again and maybe engulf to trade downwards. Maybe trade back down towards this level here at 75.70. So the overall trend is down, so selling the pair is probably the best opportunity. The 4-hour standpoint, again, there was a break of this low right here. But this one's going to be, like I said, something that I'm going to be very hesitant to even trade very heavily. So we have resistance. It may act as support at 77.43. So like I said, I wouldn't really be aggressive with this pair. I would just be taking smaller positions and just testing the waters out. The 1-hour standpoint, there was that punch downwards, but here we have a swing up, and now we're in kind of a confused stage. And we're actually, again, the yen is completely overvalued over the dollar. So this is just a pair to, just be cautious with. If it does break this low that it kind of established here at 77.62, that would probably be the sell start signal or indication that we may continue downwards. But I'm going to be also interested to see what actually happens at this support level here on the 1-hour standpoint at 77.90. And it'd probably be better to just trade on the 1-hour standpoint, is knowing that the trend is down, but this market may come back up, see if there's an engulfing pattern, and there might be a small selling opportunity. If it breaks this low, then we can continue to sell this pair. The US CAD, very interesting pair. What I want you to look at is, number one, the day chart shows that we've actually broken major trend lines. So meaning that, looking for this market to actually break upwards. And this daily trend line is massive. As you can see, we're on the day chart perspective. We broke a trend line, we surged upwards, we bounced off of resistance acting as support. Now we're just consolidating here, but I'm going to be interested at this extreme low as well as this extreme high here on the day chart, and maybe trade it in like a range. So interested to see what actually happens at 1.0644 and at 0.9878 area. Looking at the 4-hour standpoint, again, small opportunities, and you can establish this specifically on the 4-hour standpoint, is again, it's kind of consolidating in a sideways motion, but we had a 4-hour trend line that was broken here. If you had a 4-hour trend line like this, it's kind of steep there, but more like this. So we've broken, we retested, we consolidated. So I'm going to be interested, really, even though I broke this trend line, I'm going to be more interested just to wait and be patient and wait for the break of this high here and this low. We're kind of just going sideways, so not really getting involved until we break of 1.0231 or the break of 1.0063. If it breaks downwards, there might be a small sell opportunity, but I would actually preferably be more interested in the buy opportunity. Really just want to know what you guys think. Put your comment below and let me know what you think about the US CAD. The 1-hour standpoint, like I said, you can see it's just going sideways. Want to know what you guys think about how to trade this and what you think you're going to see this market really do. If it breaks this high at 1.0224, then I'm looking to buy this pair. If it breaks this low, then I'm going to look for a target point, probably right around this area. But like I said before, it may come down. I might look for engulfing patterns here for the buy opportunity. Maybe only buy it up to this top here and then wait for the break upwards. So I preferably think this market may drive upwards depending on the dollar and how it wants to move. I think the dollar is going to be dominant, and where these US CAD is going to move, as well as the Swiss franc. But let's actually see what you think and put a comment below. Sign up for Facebook, Twitter, and also follow us on our YouTube channel. Alright guys, have a wonderful day.